Hello, you online app building at home crazy tech friends. Here we are. Again, I'm Mr. Ray. I own Kids Learning Tech, and we're doing some tech class today. So let's continue our adventure with app building some apps. I want to review a little bit from last week, some of our same basic material, and talking about what is an app. First, it's an abbreviation. App is short for, and I'll give you a second to fill in the blank. You can yell it to mom and dad or just to the room, whatever it is. App is short for, yes, application. We are applying something. An application is another word for a program. Let's talk about that a little more. As before, I love going back to the dictionary because words have power. The better you understand why something is named in a particular way, the better insight you have into what it is and what it is actually supposed to do. You have more power over it, more mastery of it, simply because you know what it actually is. Things are named usually for a reason and on purpose. So, according to the Oxford English Dictionary, an app is an application, especially as downloaded by a user to a mobile device. Now, mobile device. We talked about that a little bit last week. What is a mobile device? Now, a logical answer would be anything you could move. So even a computer on a desk, that would be mobile. You could make it move, but that is not the case. Mobile device is an industry specification. When they first made mobile devices, they were only phones. When they first made the first cell phone, I think it was 1973, the first call from Motorola. Crazy, it was in Chicago. Computers then were as large as a room. And then when they had consumer cell phones in the early 90s, mid 90s, computers were still pretty darn large. It was a rare thing to see. There were laptops, but those weren't considered mobile necessarily either because they came up with the name earlier. The only mobile device was a phone. Eventually, they sort of threw in tablets as well. But I want to focus on another word here, guys, is downloaded. When we download something, we are taking it from the internet. So it's not really above us, but it sure feels that way. We hear about the cloud and things as well. And this is some important terminology. So when we are getting that program, when we're getting that information, it is coming from somewhere else. We know that data is another word for information. So we're loading that data. An app is just a collection of data from the internet. So it's coming down from the cloud onto our computer, to our, in this case, mobile device. According to Wikipedia, not always a great source for you, but it's one that can have some use. So, according to Wikipedia, a mobile app is a software application designed to run on a mobile device, such as smartphones and tablet computers. So that defines mobile devices as smartphones and tablet computers. Now, the other word we talked a little bit about last week, software. Software. Again, the people that make a lot of this technology, super incredibly brilliant. When it comes to naming things, not so much. So hardware, that's an easy one. Hardware actually lives up to its name. Anything you can physically touch. The computer you're using, the mouse, the TV, the monitor, the keyboard, the phone itself, the tablet, that is all hardware. When you hear the word software, then logically you would think, well, it would be something squishy. But as we know, there's nothing really squishy about our technology, not about this technology, anyways. So software in this case refers to programs, refers to zeros and ones data. It's actually not anything we can actually touch. So the word software is a bit misleading. And that's an important thing to understand, even especially when things are named badly. If you know the reason why, you know what they actually mean, you're having control over this technology. You're having control over any of these in order to make them tools. You are in charge. So moving on, we talked a little bit about last week about what is an app, specifically some examples. So we throw out Facebook is a great example, Netflix, YouTube, Minecraft. Lots of our friends, there's Minecraft apps, other crazy gaming apps. There are boring apps like scheduling ones, calendars, clocks, alarm clocks. That's a particularly sad one, but super useful. So think about some other examples of what apps are. Kind of picture it in your brain. I'm going to give you 5 seconds. Picture in your brain. Ready? 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And did you picture an app? Awesome. Okay, so we're understanding what apps are. Now, think about where do we find the apps? It depends on what kind of mobile device we are using. We understand, again, remember, that if we have an Apple device, whether an iPhone or an iPad, we find the Apple apps in the wonderfully named App Store. They were the first ones. They were the first ones to come up with apps. In fact, even the folks at Microsoft said, no, we're not going to use the word apps. That's for those people who don't actually understand anything that's going on. We're the ones that actually get it. We're going to call them programs forever. Apps are just for like little kids. And now Microsoft calls them apps, so it's kind of fun. So if you have an iPhone or an iPad, you find your apps in the App Store. If you are using a Google device, you find them in it changes name sometimes. It's been called the Google Play Store or the Play Store, but that's actually a pretty cool name too. Apps are wonderful. They're fun. They're playful. They're whimsical. So I would want to go to somewhere called a Play Store, whatever it was, that would get my interest. Well named by Google. If you have a Microsoft device, if you had a Microsoft mobile device, well, you were one of the very few. But you can still get Microsoft apps for their Surface tablets and other ones as well. And they call theirs Store. I think we can see that Microsoft not really great at this whole marketing thing, because Store doesn't really grab my interest, doesn't really hold my attention. Say, I can't wait to go to Store. But that's where they are. So understanding that, moving on. We find those apps in different places because they are on different platforms. And I want to review what this is and what this means. A platform, according to our definition, remember, words have power. Platform is a place where a specific type of program can operate. So let's wrap our head around that a little bit. I'm going to go back to Senor Jose. Senor Jose, he goes to Egypt, where they do not likely hablar the Espanol. So let's think about his language, what he speaks, as a program. And his application, that program, we're going to try it at this platform. We're going to think about the country being the platform. Will his language, Espanol, really do him well in Egypt? And the answer is womp womp, no, because that is the wrong language, the wrong application for that platform. If Senor Jose goes to Russia and he tries to parle with the Ruskies, is that going to work when he tries to hablar the Espanol? Probably not, because they speak Russian there. So that is the wrong application for this platform. Womp womp. If, however, Senor Jose goes to the motherland, España, and he tries to hablar the Espanol, will they understand him? Ding, 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 they absolutely will, because that is the correct application for this platform. Thinking of it this way, getting ourselves to technology, we're on the home stretch here. If we have a Wii Sports DVD and we mash it into our Xbox One, womp womp, not going to work. Wrong application for this platform. If we take that same Wii Sports disc and we cram it into a PS4, womp womp, once again, wrong application for this platform. If, however, we have an ancient Wii and we blow the dust off of it, and we put the Wii Sports game into the Wii, is that likely to function? Then yes, that is the correct application for that platform. Getting to our crazy wacky apps. If I'm able to take an app, and I could take the zeros and ones, and I could download it and sideload it and smush it onto an iPhone, do you guys think that is going to work? Memory serves as last week, womp womp, wrong. Absolutely not, because that is the wrong program, the wrong application for this platform. Can be a little confusing because there are cross-platform apps like Facebook and Netflix and YouTube. However, those companies have spent a ton of money and time and effort to write completely different code. These platforms speak different languages. So getting back to it, if we have our Google device and our Google app, and we try to smush it onto some type of Windows mobile device, will that work? Womp womp. No, it will not work. Wrong language, wrong application for that platform. If, however, we have an Android device and we have an app from the Google Play Store, will that work? Ding, 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 it will. The names don't match up, and we talked about it a little bit last week, and we can talk about it more when we do our face-to-face meetings if you like, because it's really kind of fascinating. It comes down to a different business model. Apple owns everything, soup to nuts. They own the manufacturer of their phones. They have a limited number, and they control the App Store. Google, however, didn't really want to be in the phone-making business. So they sold their operating system, the Android operating system. They license it to manufacturers like Samsung and Huawei and Motorola, I think, some other ones as well. So any phone that you see with this little symbol, an Android phone, is going to work with apps from the Google Play Store. Our plan for building today, getting into it. Please only do the step on the screen. Don't work ahead. A lot of it's intuitive, and you could, but humor us, stay with us on our steps. And then once you get through what we want you to, then go nuts and mash buttons like a crazy person. But only stay there, our step on the screen. After that, at the end of the class, you will load your app onto a phone and actually get to test it and see how it is rocking and rolling. That is our basic plan. That is our huge effort for today. With that in mind, then, the app we will do today, we're going to call Stop Shaking Me. The Stop Shaking Me app is going to be built on, again, the MIT App Inventor. MIT teamed up with Google because they wanted to make programming available to, well, people like you guys, and even to crazy old people like me. So very exciting, super tool, a lot of fun. So what I want you to do, mom and dad, if you have not already, or to help out, so open up your Google Chrome browser, and it really does need to be Google Chrome. It won't work with any other browser. And type in ai2.appinventor.mit.edu. I will count down from 5 in case you need to pause the video to open up the browser and get this. I totally understand this is a little bit of a process. So 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Welcome back. Hopefully you've done that. So once you go there, you will type in a Gmail account. Got to have one of those. Hopefully you'll use the same one that you used last week, mom and dad, getting ourselves set up there. So you type in our username and our password. You should still have the app that we made last week. The reason why this is useful is because we're going to build on top of that app. So that was a wonderful foundation, a wonderful starting point, and we are going to build up from there. So click on Talk to Me. All right, friends. So now that we are in the App Inventor screen, I'm going to go through the basic steps. We're just going to add a few things on here, and it'll be really cool. There will also be another little video that I'm going to loop over and over again in a few slides. So we can use the wonders of YouTube here and either pause as much as you want or also hopping back. So I'm going to go through these relatively slowly, but I'm going to give you time with the looping video to hammer through it yourself. So on the left-hand side of the screen, we are going to go to a new drawer. Last week, we had gone to the layout and also one of the other drawers as well. This time we're going to go to the one called sensors. And just like any drawer in your kitchen or in your room, in your dresser, you open the drawer, it contains things. So you're going to click on this side, you're going to find sensors, click on the jobber that says sensor, and then your screen will show these different sensors. You want the very first one, the accelerometer sensor, You're going to click and drag that bad boy all the way over here. Now remember, just like our text-to-speech module from the last lesson, this one is not visible on the screen, so it'll show up on the bottom here. Let's talk real quick about what an accelerometer is. Let's look at the base word. The of accelerometer comes from accelerate. It's the same meaning. It's really measuring. So a meter measures something. An accelerometer measures movement. To accelerate is to move from zero, well, actually from any lower speed to a faster one. So the accelerometer is sensing and determining movement. This is key and a really sort of exciting one here. So let's see what that looks like. And there's a little video here, and I'm just going to let it loop a couple of times. So watch my little cursor, clicking on sensors, going up there to accelerometer sensor, click, and then you just drag it over to the screen. But then when you let go, notice it's underneath the picture of the phone because it's not a feature that is something that appears on the phone. It's part of the code, it's part of the function that we're adding to the phone, sort of underneath. Like when you see a car, you don't see the engine. It's there, it's under the hood, but it's not on top of the car. This is the same as well. This is one of the engines for the app, but it's under the hood, so we're not going to see it. Looking at it again, guys, and this has just been looping over and over again. So if you have a chance, sensor, click on our sensor, click on the accelerometer sensor. There's other ones as well. Clicking on that bad boy and drag it over, and then just let it go. If you need to pause the video here, go ahead. That's totally cool. I'm going to count down from 5. 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Once we have successfully done that, welcome back, we're going to go to the blocks. This is where we're doing the coding. This is where we are telling things what to do. So over here, you will find on your left-hand side of the screen, our accelerometer sensor. Notice where it is right here. You're going to click on that. Then you're going to find this second one right here, second from bottom. It says when accelerometer sensor 1 dot shaking. Click and drag that over, and then your screen should look just like this. So right up here, this top part, this was left over from last time. See where it says when button 1 dot click? You're going to have it say Kid Tech is awesome. So that's what from our app last time from Talk to Me. Now underneath it, nothing's changed. Underneath you're going to have when accelerometer sensor 1 dot shaking. Like before, I've got this little video sort of looping for us. So watch what this is. You're going to click on blocks. Click on the upper right hand corner, and then once you're here in blocks, you're going to go to the left hand side of the screen. Click on accelerometer sensor 1. It gives you these little sort of puzzle pieces. Click and drag that over, and right there, that is all you need to do. Your screen should look like mine. Let's let that loop through well. So again, you're going to go to blocks, which is our coding part, left hand side of the screen, clicking on the accelerometer sensor button, and then you're going to take that second little sort of looking puzzle piece and drag that bad boy over. All right, so our next step then is you are simply going to duplicate what this says and then drag it down here, and then you're going to type in our new message where it says stop shaking me. Stop shaking me. So let's look here on our video, and this will get started for us here then. So notice we're going to right click. You right click on that component, it says duplicate. That makes another copy. Drag it down and click right there. Now you're going to change what it says to say stop shaking me. Typing in stop shaking me. We're going to loop that through again, and let's go ahead and have another look. So starting through, right click, duplicate, drag that back down, and then change what the message says. Instead of tech class is awesome, we're going to type in stop shaking me. Go ahead and pause the video here if need be. If you want to take some time to get that done, that might be a little bit of a process. Rewind the video as needed. Again, totally cool. So I'm going to count down from 5. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. All right, and moving forward. Your app's done. That's it. That's all you had to do. We had something great on which to build. So now what you're going to do is click on Build, and then underneath it, click on App Provide QR Code for .apk. Once you do that, this jobber here, this is our QR code. If you're not sure quite how that process is, here, take a look. And this should have started. There we are. So I'm going to go to the top of the screen where it says Build. Click on Build. And then it says App Provide QR Code. And you're going to see this loading bar and loading screen. If you don't remember it from last week, it can take a few seconds. There should be a couple of bars. So this will be the first one. And it gets it, and it's going to pop right through. And then there should be one more coming up here in just a second before you get to the QR code. Give it time and be patient. And there we go. There's our QR code. So the next step then, once you have this up, is to get your phone ready, if you have an Android phone, and get a QR code reader. If you don't have an Android phone, you've still learned a ton of awesome programming. This is absolutely great. But if you have an Android phone, let's go ahead and give this puppy a whirl. Let's give it a test drive. So what you'll do is you'll select your QR code reader, this little guy right here, and then once you take a picture of it, you want to click on this web address. So MIT has a very special web address just for your application, and then your phone is going to download it that way. Here's a little video to sort of explain what it is going to do. Okay, so now we have our QR code. First thing we need to do though, one little trick, we need to go into Chrome. You need to make sure you have no other tabs open. For some reason, it's just a quirk of this program. So I've got all my tabs closed, but make sure you don't have any open that way. So now I go to my QR code reader, and I have my QR code there. So I'm just going to line it up, already ready to go. So here it is. This is the link for our very own website with MIT. It's going to walk through a couple of steps. We're going to download, because we've already downloaded previous named file that way, same way. Going to go to Open. Now, install is blocked, and this is a common thing. So I'm going to go to Settings. It's going to ask me to enable from unknown sources. It's okay right now because we are literally the source. We absolutely know this source. So we're going to go to install and sometimes it takes a little while because it has downloaded it from MIT servers and then installing through. There we go. I'm going to go to open. And now to see how it worked from before, I'm going to talk to me.
Tech class is awesome.
So that's what it said previously. Now watch what happens. We added in the accelerometer.
Stop shaking me. Stop shaking me. Stop shaking me.
All right, a lot of fun. Now we can go back in and change it to whatever we want it to say. All right, my super app building crazy friends. Let's give that a whirl. And then once you have, go back into App Inventor and change what it says for when you shake it. And then you'll need to get another QR code, but start to experiment with it. And I think you're going to find a lot of really cool stuff. Let's have at it.